I have on this show and elsewhere talked about the comic bookification of American culture, and specifically I've talked about it seeming like millennials who are woke have a particular tendency to imagine the world into purely good and purely evil. And, you know, they see anyone they disagree with as a supervillain, and they see their heroes as actual superheroes. And it's very unnuanced, it's very black and white, it's very unhelpful. But while I was reading Desmond's book this week, I was reminded, because he quotes him, of this quotation from Solzhenitsyn. I've mentioned Solzhenitsyn in the past. We read some from his essay, Live Not by Laws, when we were also, that was back in October 2020. But as I've mentioned here before, I was lucky to end up in a class on Solzhenitsyn and Kundera in my very first quarter of college when I was a literature major. And I read much of the Gulag Archipelago at that point. And I'd read a bunch of Dostoevsky and Tolstoy and such in high school, but I'd never even heard of the Gulag or Solzhenitsyn. I mean, I'd heard of gulags, but I'd never heard of this book. And here is a quote from the Gulag that feels to me that it's encompassing of a lot of what we've talked about today, and also relates very much to this idea that I have of the comic bookification of thinking. If only it were all so simple, he says. If only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being, and who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I've heard Jordan Peterson refer to this very thing, and it's an important insight.
It is the epitome of hubris to imagine that you aren't capable of things that you have not yet done. And I guess the opposite of hubris there would be underestimating yourself, if it's that you imagine yourself not capable of positive things that you have not yet done, simply because you haven't done them. We can all hope to be our best angels, but no one is pure in either direction. There are some people who approach monstrosity, and there are some people who approach sainthood, but they are extraordinarily rare.
Mm-hmm. And mostly that's done in retrospect by mythologizing their stories.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually right. Once you start interacting with the actual day-to-day of most people, you find that the monsters also like salad, and the saints were quick to anger and yelled at dogs in the street or something. I don't have anyone in particular in mind here, but that we all have failings, and even the monsters are actually human, and that doesn't mean that we ought to be forgiving of their monstrosities. But it is a huge and tragic error to see in each other supervillains and superheroes instead of humans with whom we can sit down and talk for the most part.
You're not claiming you can recognize a villain by the fact that they like salad, right? I mean, that'd be cool, and I would give up salad if we could arrange a situation like that. But
you make a good salad, though, so I don't think we should do that.
But even still, it would be a small price to pay.
Yeah, I was. Oh boy, no, I think I'm glad I picked salad, because there's a lot of things I could have picked that now I'd be just dealing with this forever, dodging and weaving around. Like, no, it's not like that. It's not. Oh boy, yeah. But salad, yes,
right.
It's hard. I don't know. I was gonna say it's hard to hate on salad, but
it's hard to hate on. So you're gonna be remembered for that one.
Indeed.